Pacific greetings. It's day 3 here in Belém, and what an incredible and emotional few days it has been for our Pacific delegations. Inside the negotiation rooms, our negotiators have already been tested. The discussions are intense. They've presented facts, science facts, might I add, our climate reality, the hard facts. But some continue to deny what we in the Pacific have been living and feeling for decades.
At this COP, we have mandated items that look at the science. The science is extremely important for the work that we do here. So in Earth Information Day, we heard back from the leading scientific bodies on the state of our planet. And it's really important that we speak about it here and that you're informed as you go through this week. What we heard is that greenhouse concentrations reached record levels in 2024, which was 53% above pre-industrial levels. There is no sign of peak. This is the highest that emissions have ever been since our species have been here. We have to think about that. A single species has caused this. There's no questioning the science on that. The increase in CO2 was the largest annual increase ever recorded. And again, there is no sign of peak when we need to roll back emissions to stay within 1.5. Global mean temperatures were the second or third warmest on record, and it's been the same within 11 last years as well. Ocean heat in 2024 was the highest on record. And it seems like we're in the same trajectory for 2025, which is again going to be the highest on record.
Outside those rooms, the Pacific continues to shine. Kiribati brought to life the beauty of its land, ocean, and people, a reminder of what's at stake for all of us. The Federated States of Micronesia, also known as FSM, launched its Nationally Determined Contribution 3.0, otherwise known as NDC 3.0 and Methane Reduction Roadmap, taking bold steps towards real climate action. Our young, passionate civil society advocates the voice of our next generation, demonstrating the power of the ICJ advisory opinion and how it can strengthen our fight for climate justice here at COP. And we also met up with a young Torres Strait Niuean young man, full of hope and vision, dreaming of solutions created by Pacific people for Pacific people without always relying on others. A lesson for us all.
Yeah, well, I'm Ben Mitchell. I'm originally from Cairns in the Torres Straits. My roots are from Boigu, closest island to PNG, Murray Island, Semple. And so, I'm here as a climate scholar, a part of Australian National University. But then I'm also with the Niuean delegate, because our Murray Island connection has some roots to Niue, the Polynesian islands, and it's quite overwhelming if you don't have a plan. It's like a massive expo, but there's so much going on. There's meetings, there's negotiations that are very sensitive with high-level delegates and world leaders, and everyone's trying to push their agenda and find a collective way that we can work towards net zero emissions as well as climate change. And our islands are being affected, as well as all small island developing states and around the world. And I just think if we can create language and dialogue that's collective and find ways that we can balance our own interests, then we'll have a bit of success. As a scholar, we're trying to preserve and disseminate, kind of like the MIT mission, of truth. It's the pursuit of knowledge and asking the right questions, and being able to share it with the world and build that capacity, build upon that knowledge for the benefit of others. And so I think the best way is to serve our communities, to ask the right questions and to listen to them. A lot of times these days, governments, major programs, international organizations, they come in with an agenda that's already prepared. And it's kind of like in business, as I'm an entrepreneur, if I go to customers with a product or service and it's the wrong problem they're solving and they're not going to buy it. My great-great-grandfather, Bobby Ware, he left the Torres Straits and he shared to my father and our family, one is to learn English and to make it a priority in our homes. And that was to build currency, that is to build opportunities for education. And so education was very important. And two is to serve the community in any way possible. And so we were fortunate enough for him to 6 generations ago find God, leave the islands, become an entrepreneur and innovator and a community leader. 2 aspects. I think of my uncle there, Mosby, who was pushing for climate change and for the Torres Straits to be on the climate list so that we can receive climate funds and support. Unfortunately, we come under the Australian government and they're pretty hesitant that we not go on it, simply because sovereignty. But in that aspect, there's a lot of red tape and there's a lot of obstacles and objections and brick walls that we have to go through, and a lot of times we can't, just like this instance. And so we need to find innovative ways to advocate, empower, but then also create our own solutions. I don't believe in solely advocating to the point of not providing value to the community. And so the epiphany with my research and with my business and nonprofit simply came from, okay, there's all these problems. What's a solution I can create where we don't have to rely on government and their 1,000-year time frame of getting back to us, right? And we can empower the individual communities and individual families that want to go, hey, I'm an artist and I do all this art on Torres Strait, on Thursday Island, and my Auntie Rosie, who's there, creates all of the different pieces of art and clothing and wear and wood and all of these things. How can I scale to the point that can serve community and build jobs and creation?
But not all of the intensity was confined in the negotiation rooms this time around. Yesterday afternoon, as I'm sure many of you have heard, emotions boiled over outside the Blue Zone venue. So what began as a very peaceful Indigenous activist protest soon turned tense and then violent when demonstrators clashed with security after being blocked from entering the
What's
pavilion.
happening? We have been stopped from going in front because apparently the protesters outside is posing a threat according to them. But sources state that it's a peaceful protest outside. They just don't want us to come into contact with them.
It was naturally very confronting to witness. The energy shifted so quickly, a stark reminder of the passion, the pain, and the frustration many communities carry into these spaces. But thankfully, our Pacific delegates and our teams are all safe. This morning, the venue felt calm again, as if the storm had just passed. But for many, the message remains very clear. Our voices, our struggles, and our stories must be heard, both inside and outside these conference walls. This is your Pacific update from Belém, Vinakamakaliabu and Mother Manda.